Welcome everyone to AI Sports Predictor, where numbers don't lie and neither do we. Tonight, the Detroit Pistons ride into Miami to face a Heat squad colder than a Siberian winter. You feel that chill. That ain't ocean breeze, that's the sound of Miami's season gasping for air. Now let's break this one down. Detroit's sitting comfortably in the 6th spot, but comfort's for chumps. They're only one game out from 4th place, and trust me, they're licking their chops like a dog staring at a steak dinner. 2015 on the road, 25-21 against the East. These boys don't blink. And if you thought they might be slowing down after a couple of L's, think again. They just took New Orleans, put them in a body bag, and buried them under a 4 to 6 point avalanche. That wasn't a game, that was a public execution. A 127-81 beatdown so vicious it should come with a parental advisory sticker. And leading that charge, Cade Cunningham, ice in his veins, dropping 25.6 points and 9.2 dimes per game this season. Monday night. Just another day at the office, winning 4 points, 8 assists. But here's the kicker, Simone Fontecchio coming off the bench like a hitman, 23 points, 9 of 10 shooting, perfect 5 for 5 from deep. That's the kind of efficiency you see in action movies, not basketball courts. Detroit's got weapons and they ain't afraid to use them. Now let's talk Miami. You know how the sun shines in South Beach? Yeah, well, someone flipped the switch. 29-39 locked in a death match with the Bulls for the 9th or 10th spot, barely keeping the Raptors in the rearview. They've lost 8 straight, and Monday night in New York, they came out swinging, had the lead at halftime, then the third quarter happened. 41-15 lights out. Like stepping into a ring, winning a round, and then getting knocked into next week. Duncan Robinson threw 22 points at the wall. Tyler Herro chipped in 20, but it wasn't enough. Herro's their top gun with 23.5 points per game, 5.7 assists. Andrew Wiggins, fresh from Golden State, tossing an 18.3 per night. And Bam Adebayo, 17.4 points, 9.9 boards, 1.3 steals per game. On paper, it looks fine, like a well-dressed man at a job interview. But in reality, this team's walking into the meeting with coffee stains on their shirt and mismatched shoes. The numbers ain't ugly, but the results sure are. Now let's cut the nonsense and get real. Detroit has the momentum, Miami's got the misery. The Heat have lost 6 straight against the spread. Last 4 losses to winning teams. Double-digit blowouts. Meanwhile, Detroit's 7-0 won ATS in their last 8 as a road favorite. Defense wins championships, and right now, Detroit's got the top defensive rating in March, while Miami ranks dead last in offense. This ain't a game. This is a hit job. This is a shutdown. This is a massacre waiting to happen. And today's AI pick is the Detroit Pistons, 5.5, lock it in. Miami's sinking, Detroit's rising, and the sports books, they're sweating. Don't let them off easy. That's it for this one, but we're just getting started. Stick around for the next breakdown, because the AI Sports Predictor never sleeps, and neither should you when there's money on the table. On to Game 2.
All right, listen up. The Rockets, they're on fire. Not a little spark, not a flicker. We are talking a 7-game inferno that's burning through the Western Conference like a runaway train. 4-4-25 on the season, clinging to that 2nd seed like it's the last lifeboat on the Titanic. They just lit up Philly for 144 points with Jalen Green and Jabari Smith Jr. both dropping 30. That ain't offensive, that's a shootout at high noon, and Houston's packing the biggest guns. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Houston, for all its heat, sits 17th in scoring, 25th in field goal shooting, and 21st from deep. They're a team that gets it done on the other end. 5th in points allowed, 2nd in defensive efficiency, 1st in rebounding. Translation: they make life miserable for opponents and clean up every mess on the glass. That's how they win games, not by outgunning teams, but by suffocating them. And across the floor, we got the Orlando Magic. A team that started with promise, got wrecked by injuries, and is now stuck trying to figure out what the hell went wrong. 32-37, hanging on to the 8th spot in a conference so weak it's practically begging teams to make the playoffs. But credit where it's due. Sunday night, they did the impossible. They took Cleveland, the best team in the league, and smashed their 16-game win streak into dust. Banchero Wagner, They balled out. That's their upside. Now here's the ugly truth. Orlando is dead last in scoring. Worst shooting team in the league from beyond the arc, and they don't make many. They play defense, sure best in the NBA at limiting points, but 20th in field goal defense and 25th in three-point defense. That's like saying you lock your doors at night but leave the windows wide open. Not exactly airtight. Let's cut to the chase. Houston's got a mission. Orlando's got survival instincts. The Rockets have covered the spread in their last two against the Magic, and they're 6-4 ATS over this win streak. Meanwhile, Orlando's limping in at 3-7 over their last 10 and 4-6 against the number. This ain't about hope, this is about reality. And today's AI pick is Houston Rockets 2.5. They're too hot, too locked in, and Orlando's about to feel the heat. On to Game 3.
Alright, let's talk about a game that might get ugly real fast. The New York Knicks, looking like a team with a purpose. Rolling into San Antonio to face a Spurs squad that's holding itself together with duct tape and prayers. This ain't David versus Goliath. This is Goliath against a team that left its slingshot at home. The Knicks, they're cooking. Won 3 of their last 4, just smoked Miami 116-95, and they're locked in as the third best team in the East. They might not be catching Boston anytime soon, but you know what they can do. Run through teams like San Antonio and keep padding that win column. Their offense is humming, 6th in the NBA in scoring, nearly 117 points a night. And if you're standing in their way, they'll roll right over you like a subway train at rush hour. Let's not forget what they did to Miami. They got punched in the mouth early, down 12-0 right out the gate. Did they panic? Not a chance. They erased the deficit by half-time and then dropped a 41-15 third quarter. That's what killers do. Michael Bridges led the charge with 28, and the Knicks hit 16 threes. Efficient, ruthless, and ice cold when it matters. Meanwhile, the Spurs. Man, what do you even say? It's like watching a fighter step into the ring knowing he's already lost. 28-39 on the season, 13th in the West, barely clinging to any hope of a play-in spot. And the kicker, they just got mauled by the Lakers, 125-109. Never had a shot. Down 10 after the first, couldn't even get within 7 after that. They shot all right, 46.6%, but turned the ball over 17 times. That's like trying to win a foot race with your shoelaces tied together. San Antonio's issues go beyond just bad losses. Their top dogs are done. Wembanyama, shut down. Fox, shut down. Bassi, out. And even Popovich ain't on the sidelines. Mitch Johnson's running the show while the legend recovers. That's not a team. It's a bunch of guys trying to hold the dam together with their bare hands. Here's the brutal reality. The Spurs' defense has been non-existent since the All-Star break, giving up 124.3 points per game. That ain't defense. That's an open-door policy. Meanwhile, the Knicks, they're built to exploit exactly that. Even without Brunson, they have depth, scoring, and structure. 3 things the Spurs don't have right now, and today's AI pick is New York Knicks, -8.5. This is business, not personal, but the Knicks are coming in to handle their business. Spurs are walking into a buzzsaw. Simple as that. On to Game 4.
2 teams, 1 mission, score until the scoreboard starts smoking. The Cleveland Cavaliers, sitting at 56-11, storming through the East like a damn wrecking ball, against the Sacramento Kings, trying to shake off mediocrity and turn their season around. This one? It's got fireworks written all over it. Cleveland might have slipped against Orlando, but don't get it twisted, this squad is a scoring machine. First in offensive rating, second in points per game, second in shooting percentage. You don't get those numbers by accident. They're putting up 122.6 a night and doing it with efficiency that should be illegal. Donovan Mitchell? Walking bucket. 24.2 points per game, and he's got a crew backing him up. Darius Garland dropping 21 and nearly 7 assists. Evan Mobley hitting 18.6 and cleaning up 9.3 rebounds. DeAndre Hunter chipping in 17.8. When these guys step on the court, they aren't playing basketball, they're running an offensive masterclass. Now Sacramento, they're a different story. 1 minute, they're getting steamrolled in a 4-game losing streak. The next, they're dropping 132 on Memphis and looking like world beaters. They're 10th in the league in scoring at 116.3 points per game, and when their shots fall, it's like a storm you can't escape. They hit 23s against the Grizzlies. That's not just hot, that's blazing. DeMar DeRozan leads the charge at 22 points per game. But the real key? Domantas Sabonis. The guy does it all, 19.4 points, 14.1 boards, 6.3 assists. But he's dealing with an ankle injury. And that could be the crack in the armor. Here's the thing, neither of these teams is known for their defense right now. Cleveland's elite, but Sacramento, bottom third in the league in defensive rating. They're giving up 115.5 points per game. And Cleveland's sitting right behind them at 111.6. So what happens when you put two high-powered offenses on the same floor? You get points. Lots of them. And today's AI pick is over 234.5. This ain't a defensive clinic, folks. This is a shootout at the Golden One Corral. Light the fuse and watch the scoreboard explode. On to Game 5.
All right, we made it. The final game of the night, the grand finale, and this one. It's a battle for survival. The Chicago Bulls clawing their way up the East, rolling into the desert to take on the Phoenix Suns, who are out here gasping for air in the Western Conference. This ain't just a game, this is desperation on full display. Chicago has been on a heater. Won 5 of their last 6, just ran Utah out of the gym, 111-97, sitting 9th in the East, with a solid cushion over the teams chasing them. But let's get real, they ain't just trying to hang on, they're looking to make a statement. 116.5 points per game, 10th in the league. Defense. Whole different story. 119.8 points allowed per game at 28. They score, but they bleed points just as fast. Kobe White. 19.5 per game. Nikola Vucevic. 18.6 and the rebounding king with 10.1 a night. They got depth, 7 guys in double figures. But here's the thing, when the game turns into a shootout, can they land the last shot? On the other side, the Suns. Man, talk about a team in freefall. Sitting at 11th in the West, just a game away from a play-in spot, but playing like a squad that can't get out of its own way. Yeah, they just put 128 on Toronto, but let's not act like that means anything. They've dropped 5 of their last 6 against Central Division teams, and they're 1-5 ATS in their last 6. That ain't trending up, that's spiraling. 114.4 points per game, 14th in the league, but they give up 115.8 to West. Basically, they're just as leaky as the Bulls. And now they're missing Bradley Beal, third leading scorer, leader in steals. That's a hole you don't just patch up overnight. So what happens when 2 teams with the same weakness step onto the floor? You bet on the team that's covering. Chicago's hit 6 straight covers, 6 of 7 on the road, and Phoenix. They're allergic to covering spreads. This ain't a beauty contest, it's a numbers game. And today's AI pick is the Chicago Bulls. 6.5, too many points, too much momentum, and Phoenix just ain't trustworthy right now. And that's a wrap, people. 5 games, 5 picks, let's run it back. Detroit Pistons 5.5, Houston Rockets 2.5, New York Knicks 8.5, Cavaliers Kings over 200. And 34.5 Chicago Bulls 6.5. You know what to do. And if you don't, let me spell it out, like, subscribe, and keep coming back. Because out here, the AI Sports Predictor doesn't just tell you what's coming. We see it before it happens.